Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. And this one is really interesting, especially if you're getting ready for the UPSC exams, because we're going to be talking about the Indus Valley script,
Mm-hmm.
that 5,000-year-old mystery
Yeah,
that could seriously rewrite history.
it really could. And it's something that I think is relevant whether you're studying for those exams or not, but it definitely comes up
Oh, absolutely.
a lot in both mains and the prelims, so this is a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one to know. It bridges those ancient civilizations and the debates that are going on today, and I think that's really fascinating. So let's just break it down a little bit. I mean, we've all heard of the Indus Valley civilization,
Right.
but have you heard of the script?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the code.
Yeah, it's like a secret code.
It's a secret code that they left behind. And it's not just on like pottery. We see it on seals tools, even bones.
Yeah, they really they got around. I mean, they were prolific in terms of where they put the script.
But here's the thing.
Yeah,
We haven't cracked it.
we have not cracked the code yet.
I mean, we figured out hieroglyphics.
Right.
This is 5,000 years old. What's going on?
Well, and it's funny because it's not just a few symbols here and there. We're talking about a complex system. They had a really unique writing style called boustrophodon.
Boustrophodon.
Boustrophodon, have you heard of this?
No.
So basically, the direction of the writing alternates with each line. So, like, think about a farmer plowing a field.
Oh, okay.
They would go back and forth. So that's kind of how this writing style worked, which is pretty advanced for the time.
Yeah, it's very advanced for that time, so why haven't we figured it out?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And unlike, when we deciphered hieroglyphics, we had the Rosetta Stone.
Oh, wait.
We had that key because it had the same text in multiple languages. And we don't have that for the Indus script. And we're not even sure what language it represents.
So we don't even know the language.
We don't know if it was Dravidian, Indo-Aryan, or something completely different. So it's a real puzzle.
It's like a linguistic jigsaw puzzle
Yes, very much so.
with a lot of missing pieces.
Lots of missing pieces.
Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Didn't I hear that there's like $1 million prize for whoever can figure this thing out?
You heard correctly.
Oh.
The Tamil Nadu chief minister has actually offered a reward to anyone who can solve this puzzle.
So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
We are.
So what is the Tamil Nadu connection here?
Well, there was a really interesting study that was done recently where they compared the artifacts from the Indus Valley with some graffiti on pottery that they found in Tamil Nadu. And get this, over 60% of the signs they saw had parallels in that Indus script.
So they're thinking that there was some kind of cultural link between these two regions.
It really suggests that, and we're talking thousands of years ago.
That's amazing. I mean, trade routes,
Who knows?
shared knowledge, all this stuff going back and forth between these two regions.
Potentially. Yeah. And it really changes how we think about how that ancient Indian civilization developed. And I think that's what's causing such a stir with this whole Tamil Nadu angle.
So we're talking about potentially rewriting history.
Yeah.
It's not just two separate tracks.
Right.
It's a more intertwined story.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started with this conversation.
Absolutely. We've just scratched the surface.
Well, we've just scratched the surface, but before we dive in any deeper, I'm kind of curious. I mean, for somebody out there who may not be a history buff, why should all this even matter?
Well, I think it matters because it's not just about ancient symbols. It's about understanding our own roots and the interconnectedness of all these cultures and how things from the past really shape who we are today.
And you know what? It was like a detective story.
It's like a real-life Indiana Jones adventure.
I love it. So listeners, buckle up because we're going to delve even deeper into this historical puzzle after the break.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've established this Indus script is like this undeciphered code. And now we're possibly linking it to Tamil Nadu, which, I mean, that kind of throws a wrench into those traditional historical narratives.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And for those of you out there prepping for the UPSC, this is like gold. This is essay material.
This is the stuff that sets you apart.
Exactly. And it's not even about just memorizing a bunch of facts. It's about understanding the nuances of this whole discovery, the debates around it, and what it all could mean. Like, imagine you're taking your mains exam and this question pops up.
Oh, gosh.
Analyze the potential impact of the Indus script's decipherment on our understanding of ancient Indian history, with particular reference to the Tamil Nadu connection.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
You're not kidding. That's a mouthful.
It is, but it's a good one because it makes you really think about this stuff. It's not just trivia.
Yeah, you got to connect the dots,
Right.
show that you have a deeper understanding.
Absolutely. And, to really wrap our heads around how important this Tamil Nadu connection could be, we need a little bit of historical context.
Yeah.
So for a long time, the main story about ancient India, it really focused on those Indo-Aryan migrations and the rise of those Sanskrit-based cultures. The Indus Valley civilization, everyone knew it was important, but it was often seen as kind of separate,
Separate.
maybe even before that Aryan influence even came in.
So it was like two parallel tracks.
Yeah, you could think of it that way. One track up north focusing on the Aryan side of things, and then the other track down in the Indus Valley, and not a lot of focus on any connections between the two.
So are you saying that this new research and the Tamil Nadu chief minister getting involved is suggesting that it's actually a more intertwined story?
It really is. And think about this. What if, once we decipher this Indus script, it shows all these strong links to those ancient Dravidian languages, especially the ones spoken in Tamil Nadu?
That would change everything.
It would be huge.
It's not two separate tracks anymore.
Nope.
That's like a whole network.
Right.
A complex network
Exactly.
of cultural exchange, mutual influence.
It throws that whole idea of a single dominant force shaping ancient Indian civilization right out the window.
It really does.
It highlights those Dravidian cultures and emphasizes how diverse and connected the past of that subcontinent really was.
I mean, I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal, and not just for historians,
Right.
but for anyone who wants to understand those roots of Indian culture and identity. It's like we're putting together this giant puzzle,
It really is.
and this Tamil Nadu connection, it might just be that missing piece that changes the whole picture.
It could be, and then you add in the Chief Minister's initiative and it gets even more interesting.
Okay, how so?
Well, he's not just offering a prize, he's making a statement
About
recognizing and valuing the contributions of the Dravidian culture to that larger Indian narrative. And this is something UPSC aspirants need to pay attention to.
okay, why?
Because it reflects those political and social debates happening right now about representation and historical revisionism.
So this isn't just about digging up the past.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how people are interpreting that past and using it today.
Exactly. This is history coming alive. It's shaping our present and potentially our future.
It's a great reminder that the past is never really settled, is it?
Never.
New discoveries can always come along and challenge everything we thought we knew.
It's true, and I think we've done a good job laying it all out, the significance of the script and that potential connection to Tamil Nadu.
We really have. But let's not forget, this script is still a mystery. It's still undeciphered.
Right.
So what would it actually take to crack the code? What clues are researchers looking for, and what could we actually learn about the Indus Valley civilization if we could finally read their words? We'll explore all of that right after this. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on this amazing journey with the Indus script, haven't we? I mean, from those mysterious symbols to the potential Tamil Nadu connection.
Yeah, it's like a real-life archaeological thriller.
It really is, and just like any good thriller, there's still a mystery to be solved.
Yeah,
Deciphering the script itself.
absolutely.
I mean, just imagine if we could read those inscriptions. It would be like listening to conversations from 5,000 years ago.
I know, right? Forget time travel, we'd be time eavesdropping.
Okay, so let's put on our detective hats.
All right.
What are these researchers looking for to crack this code? Is it like a simple one-to-one translation, or is there more to it?
It's definitely way more complex than that.
Okay.
Remember, we're dealing with a lost language.
Right.
It's not just about matching up those symbols to words we use today. It's a much bigger puzzle.
So what are they looking at?
They're looking for patterns, any symbols that show up again and again, and any clues that might give us hints about the grammatical structure or what language family this might belong to.
So it's like putting together one of those giant jigsaw puzzles,
Exactly.
but with language instead of pictures.
Yes, and this is where I think that Tamil Nadu connection might be the key.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, if the research shows a strong link between the Indus script and those ancient Dravidian languages, it would give us a place to start a framework for figuring out the sounds and the grammar behind those symbols.
So it would be like having a partial code book.
Exactly. It would be that starting point for deciphering the rest of the message.
Oh, that's fascinating. For our UPSC folks out there, imagine the essays you could write about this.
Right.
You could talk about how linguistic analysis combined with the archaeological evidence can totally change our understanding of ancient civilizations.
Absolutely. That's a perfect example of how different fields can work together to solve these historical puzzles.
And the implications are huge.
They
I
are.
mean, think about it. Deciphering this script wouldn't just tell us about their language. We would learn about their belief systems, their social structure, even their daily lives.
It would be incredible. We could learn about how they traded their religious rituals, their political system, even what they called themselves. I mean, we don't even know that for sure.
And that's what makes all of this so exciting. It's not just about deciphering symbols, it's about reconstructing a whole lost world.
It really is. And it reminds us that history is full of surprises. New discoveries can always rewrite what we think we know about the past.
It's amazing. And this goes beyond just India too, doesn't it? I mean, the Indus Valley civilization had trade networks that stretched incredible distances.
Oh, yeah. We're talking Mesopotamia, Egypt, possibly even further.
It's mind-blowing. Some scholars even believe there could be links between the Indus script and other ancient writing systems like cuneiform in Mesopotamia or hieroglyphs in Egypt.
It really makes you think about how writing spread and how connected those ancient civilizations really were.
It really does.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that history isn't just about isolated events. It's a global story woven together through centuries of interactions and exchanges.
That's a great way to put it. And I think that's one of the biggest things to take away from our deep dive today. The Indus script, whether we ever decipher it or not, is a testament to how complex and interconnected human history truly is.
It challenges us to look beyond those traditional narratives, explore all those different perspectives, and embrace just how rich our shared past really is.
Well said.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the basics of this Indus script to its global implications. And for those of you prepping for your UPSC exams, I hope this deep dive has given you plenty to think about, maybe even some inspiration for your next essay.
It's been a pleasure exploring all of this with you.
Likewise. And listeners, remember, history is an ongoing conversation. It's full of mysteries just waiting to be uncovered. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to finally crack the code of the Indus script.
Maybe.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Indus Valley script, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with all your friends. And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep into this amazing world around us.